Have you destroyed anything lately? If not, you're probably not growing. Life consists of cycles of destruction and creation. Think about winter, killing and stripping dead branches to prepare way for spring. Or your body, shedding worn out cells to regenerate new ones. Or plants that are rotting to enrich the soil. Just maybe, there's an important lesson in this for our homes and our businesses. There was a time when I was playing with my son, and he was working with those big old mega blocks, and so we were building a structure together, and we had used all the blocks and had it symmetrical and colorful, and it was looking beautiful, and I was quite proud of what we'd made. And immediately he just knocks it over, breaks it down into 1,000 pieces. What wasn't 1,000? Probably like 50 pieces. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like I wanted to enjoy and look at what we'd made, but somehow, intuitively, he knew that unless he knocked it down, he couldn't build anything else again. He would stagnate. Children have a natural, innate tendency to destroy and to create, but when we get older, we try to hang on to the things that we've built. And sometimes those things are what's keeping us in the way of the next, newest, better thing. So, in life and in business, we're very quick to build. We're very quick to create. We celebrate this. We post it on our social media. We talk about, our new business structure, or our new company that we've started, or our newest idea that we have, our new product. But how often do we celebrate what's torn down? Not very often. Many of us are unable to move forward and to grow because we refuse to tear down first. But before you can build, you have to destroy. You have to break things down. Tearing down and letting go of things is painful. And maybe that's a reason why we don't do it. But there's an old expression, I'm sure you're familiar with it, the bodybuilders use it: no pain, no gain. When you injure, when you damage your muscles, it forces the fibers to fuse together, which increases their mass and their size. The same is true of renovating your kitchen. But first you have to tear some things down, right? You have to remove the old cabinets. You have to knock out the walls. You have to rip up the floors, get rid of worn out appliances. Even for new construction, the first step is to destroy. You have to remove the existing structures if they're in the way. You have to clear out trees and brush and clear the landscape. Even at the basis level, you have to tear up the ground in order to lay a foundation. Now, this is difficult. It requires you to let something go, to sacrifice. Psychologically, we hate sacrifice. Let's be honest. There is a comfort in the familiar, in what we know, in what we're used to. And there's a fear of change that's kind of instinctual and built deep within us. And so we tend to just kind of stay where we're at. In fact, there's a principle in life, a natural resistance to a change in momentum, the law of inertia. It says an object that is in motion tends to remain in motion unless acted upon by an outside force. Well, but before growth occurs, there must be loss. The seed has to die in the ground before it can sprout. The hair must be cut in order to be styled. The fat has to be trimmed in order for your body to become toned. Sacrifice implies a cost. A giving up of something that exists to make room for something that does not exist. The new cannot exist while the old remains. If all your free time is consumed with a certain hobby or activity, you can't develop a new one. Until the stony, barren soil is broken up and the hindrances removed, the garden cannot be planted. Until the dysfunctional, unproductive corporate culture is eliminated, a healthy, thriving one cannot flourish. Until the toxic, negative ways of thinking are cast down from your mind, then the new, positive ones can't exist. In business, consider what needs to be broken down to make room for the new. I was once with a company that had a very singular mindset. They saw, and it was a healthcare company, and they saw that only one particular level of care was effective. This was very entrenched within the culture and the mindset of the company. And so when we began to talk about there are other options, there are other levels of care that could be beneficial, there was a lot of pushback and resistance to that. In fact, it took for many months before there was any progress in even thinking in this direction. But once it happened, and particularly once that began to be implemented, the old only one level of care efficient mindset was torn down. And that opened opportunities for multiple levels of care, multiple other programs. And with them came the discovery that the new was more effective than the old. So what processes, what structures, what practices in your company or your profession need to be examined and let go? In life, imagine the good that would rush in if you endured the struggle of eliminating the bad. Physically, crush the bad habits, the laziness, the poor diet. Make way for strength and health. Mentally, cast out thought patterns of fear, doubt, and despair to birth hope and joy. Spiritually, consider the beliefs and values that generate disconnection from peace. Strike them down to give room to faith and love. Socially, recognize the relationships that are toxic, or notice your own withdrawal that generates isolation and loneliness. Release them to give way to genuine intimacy, unity, and community. Maybe today is a good day to pause building on top of faulty foundations and cluttered closets. Instead, investigate and identify what you're better off letting go. Surrender to the pain and the difficulty of sacrificing these things. And then do the hard work to break them down. You might just be surprised at the beauty that springs out of the wreckage. Until next time, don't just be transformed, be kinged.